anyone that follows a lot of my work, I'm extremely excited about the future of creativity at work. And that Hollywood story just strikes with me perfectly. All of these technologies are changing to enable people to tell stories better, to become more creative, where, there's 360-degree cameras now and, effects that you can add to your cameras, all of these things.
Yeah.
How do we bring some of that creativity to work? What are some of the use cases I think we can hope for in the workplace, where what would Steven Spielberg do if he was running a company type of thing? Where are you seeing that take place?
Well, I think part of it is we want to take the technology and not just throw it into the user's face, but have it kind of disappear. Like, as you said, the end user doesn't need to know how the intelligence is happening in the background. Just like when I'm doing a Google search, I don't really understand or even care to understand how Google's anticipating what my search is. We want to be able to do some of those things for meetings. And one of our aspirations on the video world is we actually want to go beyond being almost as good as being there. So a lot of times, from our experience, people will say, video conferencing, it's almost as good as being there, but if I really want to have the great experience, I'm going to fly out to you. We started looking at that and saying, maybe our ambition should be better than being there. So I have this story with my son from a couple of years ago, and he was 12 at the time, and we were talking about going to the Golden State Warriors game, which is topical now during the playoffs. And we were watching a lot of the games together, and I asked him if he wanted to go. And he looked at me, kind of took a long pause, and said, "No, I don't want to go." I said, "What? What do you mean you don't want to go? We love the game, so much fun. Tell me why." And he said, "Well, Dad, I know the games are really expensive, and you're kind of a cheapskate, so we'll be sitting up in the bleachers, and then we got to drive there and sit in traffic, and then I can't pause the game like I have it on TV. And I love the announcers, and I love the play-by-play and the 360 reviews." And basically what he was describing is it's better to be remote already. So we started thinking about that here at Logitech, said, all right, how do we take that idea of a sporting event where in a lot of cases, yes, it's fun to go there, but in some cases it's almost better. How do you apply that to a meeting context? And if you think about it, when you meet face-to-face with someone, let's say at a coffee shop, it's pretty good. We have good intuition of how the meeting went, but a lot of times you may ask someone, well, how did it go? You're trying to read into someone. Well, what if you had superhuman capabilities through technology where you could see how people were reacting to things or not? And you could see if they liked it. You could, instead of forgetting someone's wife's name, something would pop up in AR and you would say, oh yeah, and I see you went on vacation, and giving you all these superhuman capabilities. And you can think about it in terms of meetings, personal interviews, where it's really important to get it right. And then you may say, you know what, I could meet you in person, but I'd rather do it over video because it's better. It's better than being there. Now, we have a long way to go to achieve that, but I think it's good to have a vision that we can all aspire to.
Well, it sounds extremely exciting. You're in charge of a group at, a massive organization that's going to, work on making this happen. As someone who spends a lot of time in meetings, both remote and face-to-face, I look forward to seeing some of these changes. I love the analogies of the things you can get by watching, sports broadcast on TV versus live, the different views. Imagine business meetings where everybody has the same sort of ringside seat and can listen to the decision maker and have equal sort of footing in those meetings, as opposed to who gets the chairs in the front, who gets the chairs in the back. It's really exciting to see where we're going with artificial intelligence, with, we barely touched on things like augmented reality and some of the extra information you're going to have displayed. I think it's going to be a great next, 1, 3, 5 years for the video space.
No, I think we totally agree. And I think part of what's exciting is that I don't think this is a 10, 20, or 30-year vision out. I mean, this is going to happen in the next 5 years or so as augmented reality, VR, 3D, more bandwidth, all these things come into play, more better processing, better software. And if you think about cameras getting less and less expensive, you won't just have that one camera, you'll have lots of them all around. Then the challenge would be, all right, how do you have that great software, that Steven Spielberg-like effect to implement it? And I think part of what I love being here at Logitech, I've spent the majority of my career in startups, and that the way we're organized in business groups, and that we have a relatively small group, so we can be innovative like a startup, but still leverage the global distribution, brand name, and support of being in 100 countries like Logitech. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and it's really fun.
All right. Well, as an industry analyst who's covering the way employees work together, both with their colleagues and their customers, that whole employee experience, I look forward to seeing how Logitech can help sort of bring more Hollywood and less Silicon Valley to the way we get our jobs done. Scott, it's been a pleasure. We're on separate coasts. We're here on video talking to each other, and I think we're living exactly what we're talking about.
I totally agree, and I've really enjoyed the conversation. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Bye, everybody.